Brace yourself for this dynamic super teacher who transforms both teachers and students' experiences as she revamp and reimagine our system of learning. When she steps into a room, you will immediately feel the vibes and get your entire life. Not only will you gain insight, but you will also learn how to teach with excellence and level up the skills to be the best version of yourself. So be prepared to get your notebooks out and catch all this creativity she will be throwing and find yourself in the thrones of authenticity. Please help me welcome Robin Queen Educator.
Hello, everyone. Let's get started. It is another Monday where we are hosting Brilliance, and we have a brilliant educator. Read to you a little bit about who she is. And you know, I am your girl, your host, Robin Queen Educator, always energized to bring you brilliant educators, to bring you brilliant tips and strategies every single time I can get on the stage to do so, because I believe, as a part of Everybody Educate, which is my company, we believe that everybody is educating somebody somewhere, but we got to be excellent with it. Look, I'm going to be myself. I believe that we are all educating somebody, but we've got to do it with excellence and equitable practices. And in order to not be burnt out, we've got to come together and really collaborate and decide, like, you know what, I'm going to do this. It's going to be hard, but it's not going to be that hard because I can do it with not alone, like with everybody else around me who has their own brilliance. So when we all put our brilliance together, beautiful things happen. And so today, I have Miss Toni Hardy. She is a master educator who has nearly perfected the craft of helping teachers, and she has honed her craft and is affectionately known as your MathWhys coach. And she wholeheartedly believes when students make connections and understand the why behind mathematics, that they have a stronger foundation and an understanding that can be applied to any situation. And you know, when we're on this show, I'm talking not just about learning some facts, but we are and checking off a list. We are talking about thriving for life. Everybody educate. Throughout our lives, we should be learning how to apply what we've learned in school, and we should be making sure students are getting that same thing so that they can leave as good, strong, successful citizens and being able to use that math, use that reading, use all of those things in real life so that they can thrive. I want to bring up to the stage none other than your MathWhys coach, Miss Toni Hardy. Say hello to the people.
Hey, people. Thank you for having me, Robert. And I love your energy, girl. We're going to have some fun today talking about some data. It's going to be fun. You know, it's one of my favorite things to talk about.
And I didn't even tell everybody the title for our show today, but I probably should have did that. I'm so excited. You know how we work to create winning classrooms. We want to have winning classrooms. Winning classrooms do not just mean that you cover some curriculum, honey. It just doesn't. It just doesn't mean a test score. But today, Toni, you and I are going to help people understand how they can set an environment of winning, right? Through data-driven insights. And I'm so happy because you're my other half when it comes to literally like reading, math. We are the dynamic duo. I just want y'all to know.
That's right.
But talk to us a little bit about your history. And I want to highlight a little bit, because last week people got to see a little bit of our like a sneak peek. But I want to highlight this whole data-driven mindset. Why data?
Data is our evidence. And when you look at the right kind of data, then that's information for you to create a streamlined plan that will help you to get to success. And the reason that I like data is because it took me 12 years to graduate from college. I had a family, I had a husband, 2 kids, and it was hard. We were living on one income, and we had to have some plan. I just couldn't take what I had and just run around without some guidance and some focus. And so I was able to create a plan that got me there and got us there successfully and ended up to where I am now. I became a 7th grade math teacher by the plans that I created, and using that information, the successful plan that I created to get to that point, I was able to go into the classroom with those tools that I had gathered, using all that data for me. I took that system into the classroom, and I was able to have amazing results my first year as a teacher. And then after that, I was a team lead in my second and third year. And so I was able to guide our team of teachers to making the most amazing growth with our kids. And we had kids at a Title I school where they came from low socioeconomic backgrounds, the bulk of them Black and brown students, very low, didn't like mathematics, didn't know how it even was going to be useful in their lives, and didn't have any really buy-in. And it was hard. And today we are talking really about not burning out, and making sure that we feel success and our kids feel success, because when we're teaching, that's what we want. That's why we became teachers, is for our kids to be successful and to have bright futures. But if I felt like if I didn't have some plan or some way to focus on the things that I need to focus on and to attack those things, then I would never feel success. That means that my kids would never feel success. And so I really love making a plan. I know for people who know me, you know that I am anal about certain things because I love data. So with working with my kids, I use the data from their academics. I use data from how they were in the classroom, their whole being, how they were with me, how they were with each other. And I help them to make connections. And that's how we were able to make the growth. So in my position as an instructional coach, as an educational consultant, in all of those areas, I help people create plans to success, and it fast tracks them. And so that's what I love to do, use the data to help people be successful in whatever it is that they're doing.
I appreciate all of your history. I appreciate your background and your passion that comes along with it, and how data just is like intertwined in all of that you share. I think that's amazing. And I want to tie it right into you're the MathWhys coach. That whole why to me is just, it's everything. I know part of what I do too. And we're instructional coaches together, right? Like we know this work. When we met, we're like, oh my gosh, you were instructional coach in math. And we were able to share some things. And one of the things that Toni and I have in common, and why I really want her on the show, is because I want her to reveal a little bit more about the why behind the what. And you already started to do that. When we don't know our why, it's really difficult to stay in this fight, in this education fight. And specifically with math, say just a little bit more about your math why you're the MathWhys, WHY.
When I was a teacher and instructional coach, I was an instructional coach for 12 years. And the why behind everything drove me. And it drove me because I have to know why I need to do things in order to make it meaningful to me. And it is with anyone, with kids. They have to understand why this is important to be able to do it. And so a lot of our kids struggle with division, with fractions, all of these concepts. The kids struggle with them because a lot of times we were taught, when we were younger, we were taught algorithms, steps, tricks, things that helped us to remember it at that specific time. But it didn't help me when I got on to the next grade level, because it was a new trick that I had to learn. And so when we teach our kids conceptual mathematics and help them understand why those tricks are done or why certain relationships exist, then they're able to apply that in the next grade level, and then into the next grade level. So it's not something that they have to learn at that very moment, and something that learn at that moment, and then they forget for the next year, because it's not a trick, it's conceptual mathematics. And so that's where the why comes in for me, the MathWhys, because if kids understand the why, then they're able to apply it to other situations. When kids understand, and I'm going to go into fractions right now, because I'm telling you, fractions are huge for our kids. The kids don't get them, and it affects them all the way into algebra, which is where our scores tank because kids miss that richness of fractions. And so with our new standards, because people call it the new math now. It's not new math. It's just math. Math is math. No, it doesn't matter what state you're in. Math is math. But when kids understand and they're given the chance to explore with relationships and explore unit fractions, this just the building block of fractions, one part of the whole. When they're able to explore those things, then they're able to apply that knowledge in other places. So they're able to apply it when they're adding fractions, apply it when they're subtracting, apply it when they are having to rename an improper fraction to a mixed number, apply it with multiplication, division, all of the things. They have to know the why. Why are we doing that? Why does this make sense to do this at this moment? Which also goes right along with problem solving, because when we teach our kids keywords, the kids will have the tendency to go to a word problem and find that word. If they find the word "and" in there, because that's a keyword that sometimes some teachers teach, they find the word "and" automatically they think that they're supposed to add because they're not thinking. And so with the MathWhys, it is the entire environment that I look at. Why are they doing a specific strategy or using a specific skill in a station? Why are they doing that? Is that supporting your teacher table, your small group? Why is that in place? What role does that play in the whole scheme of things, in the whole plan to get the kids to success? So when I say MathWhys, I'm MathWhys everything in the classroom to make an intentional plan that supports the kids and it keeps you from getting burned out. That's the issue, is to keep us to help us to be our best when we're teaching the students. Robin, did I answer your question?
You actually did. You absolutely did. I was trying to get off mute fast enough. Absolutely, you answered my question. Absolutely. And actually, that was so dope because I love how you said, hey, it's not new math. This is math. Math is math.
Math is math.
I was over there like, yes, honey. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Math is math. And what kept coming to mind for me was, they're like, when people say, some math ain't math and math ain't math. I don't know why when you were talking, that's what was coming to my brain. I was like, math ain't math. And you know why? Because people don't have the why and they don't have those tools, those tips that you just shared, guys. Hey, everybody, if you're just joining in, listen, if you're just joining in, you want to go back, watch this replay to get that beginning, because Toni is already coming out the gate, honey, with like knowledge, skills, and awareness of how we really can be well. We are in a new season of our hosting brilliance where we are talking about be well so you can teach well. And that applies to all the content areas. We are covering as many things as we can. And today we're covering math. We have none other than Toni Hardy, because I know some of you just jumped in. Go ahead in the chat, ask some questions, put your thoughts. What are some misconceptions that you have? We just heard Toni talk about like vocabulary, like how everything is intertwined. And I don't want to say it again and miss anything. So you guys have to watch this again. Please share this out right now. We are with your MathWhys coach, one of the most amazing math educators, instructional coaches that I know, honestly, and she is brilliant. And we want you all to find wellness today and know that you don't have to be burnt out by trying to figure out a plan. That's why we have Toni with us. So I had to take a little break there, Toni. You said some rich stuff. I need people to take it in. Know the why behind the what you're teaching. You can be the best teacher that you have been called to be. Toni, listen, she is here with us. This is our guest. I'm interrupting her interview because she knows this stuff like the back of her hand. I need y'all to take it all in. Ask some questions. Come on, we want to talk to you all today. Put something in the chat there. Talk to us. What is your struggle with math? When I was younger, I was like, it doesn't connect. It doesn't make sense. What? Toni, talk
That's
to
the
me a little
thing.
bit about that. Go ahead.
That's the thing, Robin, is that a lot of it is not a connection. As I said earlier, when we were taught the step-by-step ways of solving problems, then it's just a trick, something that we have to remember at that moment. But then when a similar situation came up, or maybe something completely different, we're like, oh, I don't know where to go because I don't know the why behind that. I don't have the thinking that I need to apply that to this situation. And so we have to, as educators, we have to make sure that our kids have connections. That's what the whys are. Those are the connections that where we build that into the kids' brains. And so they're able to have a foundation. The foundation. That's what it's all about, the foundation. And the data around it is looking at the kids, what they do when they're in your classroom, pulling in all that cultural relevant instruction that helps them, all of that. The thing that I really loved about being an instructional coach when I was an instructional coach in the district was that I was able to go from one classroom to the next and to see the curriculum in action, because I was a curriculum writer too in my role as an instructional coach. See the curriculum in action, but also see it at multiple grade levels, because you get to see the scaffold and how it builds one on top of the other. And so when we are teaching, we have to make sure that we are teaching like standards and concepts to the deepest level that we can teach them. Having kids explore, to ask questions about those things, because it's going to build into the next grade level. We have to get them ready. And so some things that I really focus on with my with the people that I coach is really making sure that we use data to drill down to the misconceptions, because we have to stop putting band-aids on things every year. The kids can't divide, oh, we're going to give them a trick that's talking about McDonald's and driving through and all that stuff. That stuff is a trick to get them to the next level or get them to be successful in that grade level. But when they get into the next grade, so we're looking at division of whole numbers and we get into the division of decimals, kids be like, wait, then talking about remainders on top of that, kids are thrown because they don't have an understanding of division. That's the issue. It's not if they can follow steps. Kids can follow steps. It's the division and understanding the process. And so we have to use our data to focus on the misconceptions over a course of time, because understand that what I'm telling you, this is not a one and done type of strategy. That's why it's a plan, because it's a marathon. You start your plan and you figure out what those kids are stronger in, and you hone in on that piece, and then you pull in those weaknesses with division, and you work the plan, and you make sure that you're assessing the plan. Doesn't mean it has to be a multiple choice question. It can be explained how you divided and how you interpreted that remainder. It could be something as simple as that. We just have to get the kids thinking deeper and making connections, and then when they start doing the division, then they have something to fall back on. The why gives them something to fall back on. When they get stuck, you have something to fall back on.
And that's a challenge. Yeah, that's a challenge for so many educators. I was in a classroom, but last week, and we were talking to some math teachers. We were talking about student engagement. And one of the reasons why a lot of students weren't engaged is because they were struggling to keep up. Is what some of the teachers were saying. They're like, I'm trying to teach division and they don't even have some of their multiplication facts. And I'm just overwhelmed. I'm a little bit like trying to figure out, I got to meet this deadline because this is where we are in the curriculum. And, we're talking about student engagement, and we had to look at the data. That was all data. Like, okay, why are students not engaged in this lesson? And so I love how you share that. But how do we deal with those challenges when we're trying to plan intentionally, like you shared, and we're trying to get those misconceptions, but it just doesn't always, come together at the same time for us as educators. And even we could be good math teachers and know all about math, but the connection with the kids like our personal connection with the kids and where they are. How have you overcame some of those challenges where you're like, I have my plan, I know what to do, I have these misconceptions. Now how do I take all of that, put it together, and really connect that with my kids and pace this lesson out to where they're still engaged? I know that was a heavy question.
Yeah. The way that I've helped teachers to do that is, first, it's all about the structure that you have, and how you teach, how you deliver the lesson. Are you working completely in small group? Because you can have an environment where you work completely in small group with your kids because there are such large needs. They have great needs. What does it look like when are you taking advantage of your transition time? So there are a lot of different things that you can do to support your kids. But I just want to go back and say that kids can divide even if they don't know their multiplication facts. I've worked with kids who have done that before. And sometimes teachers think that they can't, but they can. And that's part of starting where they are. Because the division is a whole process of understanding how numbers are taken apart, separated into equal groups. And they can do that without knowing multiplication facts. So knowing that if you're looking at your data and that they're at that certain place where maybe they know some of their multiplication facts, maybe they don't know all of them, you have to target the multiplication facts that are going to give you that high impact result. Targeting those things that give you the high impact result is what fast tracks your kids. You cannot focus on every single thing. It's just no way that you can do it. But you can focus on that high impact content that will get your kids there when you work the plan. It's not going to be a one and done thing. I'm going to say that again. It's not a one and done thing. But when you look at your instruction, look at where you're taking them, look at how the instruction like at your scope and sequence, looking at how you sequence that, how deeply you take them, all of that supports it. Okay. And that's all part of the plan. And that's what we look at. And I have a system that I use. It's called Track, where we target the standard that they're going to be looking at. Then we respond to the data. We use align. So we align the purposeful instruction to all of those things that we do. And then we check for understanding. It's a whole system. Yeah. So it's not something that's a one and done. It's a system that you use every day, every single day, starting on those first weeks of school, every single day.
What are some of the systems, those of you who are listening, and if you're listening on the replay, put #replay. What are some systems that you have? Do you have a system? This is one of the reasons why I put it in the chat. What systems are you made to use and you feel like it doesn't make sense? Or do you have just like an intentional plan and system that you use with your students? Share in the chat and ask questions to Toni, because she has a lot. She is our expert today. And I want to share with you guys this little, while you're doing that, I'm going to share with you a little math problem. We're going to take a break. Toni does not know about this. We have a math problem that we want to talk about. So I need you all to get your notebooks out, and I need you to get ready for this problem. But while you're getting ready for this problem, Toni,
yes,
talk to us a little bit about a teacher that you have encountered who has impacted your life and helped you to kind of get to a space where you're like, they started where you were. And if there wasn't a teacher that didn't do it, you're like, okay, I didn't have that teacher, so I'm going to go ahead and just give us a little snapshot, because we have a lot of educators watching. We have a lot of tips that you've given. Give us an example of a teacher who has done this and impacted your life, whether in coaching, whether in you coming up. Talk to us really quickly about that while they're getting ready for this math problem.
Over the years, I've had I've worked with so many teachers, just knowing so many teachers that have really, really touched me, because you have some of those teachers who just really help you kind of stay on your toes, and those that really just really believe in what you're doing. and help you through things when you need support. And so as you were talking, I was just thinking about I was an instructional coach for 12 years, and that's where the biggest impact came for me. I had people on, and this is not just like one person, because, like you said, I think that we support each other, and that team supported me, and we supported each other, and we learned so much from each other, because when our standards changed, and I live here in the state of Texas, our standards changed, and we had this new math coming down, and we had to write curriculum for that math that we hadn't even had training on. So we dug into books, and y'all, the people who work with me know that I like this guy. His name is John Vanderwall, and he wrote the book with some other people, Teaching Student-Centered Mathematics, and that right there was my math Bible, where I knew a lot of these the whys behind when I was in 7th grade. I taught the whys behind my mathematics. But when I got into elementary, I went into to become an elementary math coach. And the things that I didn't know, it seemed to just click, 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 click. And we were all learning this together. And we were all part of building and cementing our understanding so that we could go out and help other teachers. And so we learned it together as we were creating the curriculum. And the thing is that the way, when I learned it, I realized, I'm like, that makes, okay, this is what I thought. Okay, this is, and it was like as we were learning it, it was like, I gained confidence and competence, because, when teachers feel confidence, they feel competent. And when they're competent, they feel confident, vice versa. And so we gave each other that and helped each other to help the teachers. And we just pulled together to learn the math content. And that was the most beneficial for me, because I don't know that you know this, but I was really shy when I was younger. And I'm still kind of shy now. So much of an introvert. People know I'm an introvert. I would get in the corner and I won't say anything unless you're talking about math. Okay. And so as an instructional coach, that's when I felt my confidence. I felt my confidence and competence grow. And I started being that person who would step up and present, and it would be fine, And so that's where I got all of that from, from those people. And so I have so many, I don't want to call out their names, but if y'all watching, y'all know who y'all are. It was my math folks there. And that was a huge impact on me, where I was always used to being the person in the background. Even when I was teaching, I was the person in the background. And I would always say, you don't have to ask me what I'm doing. We'll come in and watch my kids. My kids will show you exactly what I'm saying to them, because you will see it in their work. You will hear it in their conversation. You don't have to hear it coming from me. And so all of that was true. But now I was forced to step out and help other people. And so that's where it all came from. That's how I ended up here as an educational consultant, because I realized that I loved that. I loved helping the teachers. I loved going in, and after I wrote something like an intervention strategy, going in and doing it with the kids and seeing it work, and then training the teachers on how to actually do those strategies too. That was where my love was. Curriculum and helping them to grow their kids. And so that's why I know that it works, because I was given that opportunity to write it and then actually use it with students, and then train teachers on how to do it too. And so it was fun, And so that's why I just love working with teachers and helping them to feel successful, because when they feel success and competent and confident, then their kids will too, because it just comes out of your pores. The kids will love to be around you, and the parents, they'll love you, because they know that you love their kids and you're teaching them the why behind things so that they can apply it, the whys. And they will be MathWhys.
I love it.
Play on words. I love play on words.
I love it. I know. I love how you have play on words. I think it's amazing. And I think that I believe that many people even listening right now are having a lot of aha moments, like, okay, and you're giving them hope to really, dig into this a little deeper and look at the data on themselves and see, like, where did I go wrong with just maybe like thinking that when we say math is hard, and that, even our Black girl, we think about girls. I think there's statistics and things about, oh, boys are better than girls at math, and and we don't have to be the status quo. Right? We don't have to be the status quo. So here we go, guys. I'm about to share this, and I'm going to put a little music on. I want you to read it. And when it comes on the screen, this is our math problem for today. Are you ready? And then I need you to solve it for us. She's going to get me. I need y'all to solve for us. So we're about to put a little bit of music on to rock it out. Here it comes. Hold on. Okay, for our math problem today, I would like Miss Toni Hardy to read. This is our notebook. You guys, you should have your notebooks out. You should have been taking notes today. This is some good stuff. And you know what? We don't have that much more time. So we really want to make sure that you can get as many nuggets as you can with Toni. But guess what? You can work with her and continue to learn more about how she can consult, coach, and support you through. But here is the math problem. Go ahead and read it to us.
Intentional plans plus intentional actions equal intentional results. So true. So true. You cannot, I'm sorry, Robin, I'm going to add something to it. Can I add something to this teaching me? I got to add something. This is a teachable moment. I got to add it. Okay, so you cannot get to where you want to be without having a plan. When you are in a situation where you are have so much data and so much coming at you, you can't see the forest for the trees. You can't see the thing that you need to focus on when there's so much happening around you. And so that's where that equation comes from. If you have intentional plans, and then based on those plans, you have intentional actions, then they give you intentional results. There shouldn't be a time that you give an assessment or some ask questions that you don't know what the result could be. There shouldn't be a time, because you have that intentional plan, and that's why I love intentional. Everything is a focus on a focus. All right, I'm done.
If you want to say more, you definitely can. That was your lead in to that. But I really want you all to think about that. Like, we talk about intentionality and we kind of throw that around, because when it comes down to it, and it's like, oh, we have these standards, we have these tests, we have all this stuff. And I just want to take the pressure off you all today. I know we want to take the pressure off of you today to remind you that you can be well in doing this work for our children and literally create wins all the time. And when Toni shared that intentional plans, intentional actions, and equal intentional results, to me, I said, wow, how simplistic is that? If we are sitting in a meeting and we're told, you need to have this, and you need to have that, and this standard and that standard, instead of getting overwhelmed, I really want you all to hone your brilliance. I'm serious. You are if you're a math teacher, you're a math teacher for a reason. And if you've gotten training now, if you didn't get training, that's another thing. You need to advocate for yourself. You need to advocate for professional development. Because I know how it is, how you were like, I've been teaching reading all these years, and you threw me into the math classroom. Help me, Lord. But guess what? You are a teacher, and it's about practice. It's about pedagogy. And this right here, Toni, you could say more about that. Intentional plans and intentional actions is if you have more to say. You will win. I promise you. Hone your brilliance in the way in which you're like, you know what? You have children in front of you. Start where they are. That's what Toni told us earlier. Look at the data. Data on how they're responding, data on what they know and what they don't know. Do they know some math facts? Do they already know some division? Do they already, this is what we've been talking about today. It's about you taking an intentional look at, first of all, valuing yourself and saying, hey, I can do this. I know it's hard, but I can do this because I have resources. I can do this because I've signed up for a reason. I'm doing, there's a why behind my what. Come on, we're putting all this together today. That's all your data. So I want you to hone your brilliance and realize that you are brilliant at something and your children are brilliant at something. Start there. Get resources like Toni has shared. Get resources, and I want to go into that, Toni. Resources to decide how you can start to think about what do my students need to know and be able to do, and what actions do I need to take. And if I don't know, that's when I'm reaching out to my coaches. That's when I'm reaching out to, there's lots of resources even through online. Toni, you talk to us a little bit more. How is how is it, because this is your message I have here, how can we find ways to help educators use that data and those intentional plans to fast track their success? How can we do that? Give us, I know you can't give it all. Y'all need to actually look her up, support my sister. She will definitely help you do this in depth. But go back to just give us a couple nuggets of how they can do that as they bring their whole beautiful selves to the stage.
Well, I think that part of first is avoiding the burnout is by looking at the things that you can change, because you have so many things that are happening as a teacher, and the kids have home lives, and the daddy don't do this and the mama don't do that, and you can't change any of that. Only the thing that you can change is what's right in front of you, and that's how you react and address the misconceptions that are happening in your classroom. So the first part that I always start with, the first thing I always start with is looking at how to target the misconceptions, how to target that high impact content, the thing that's going to give you the greatest impact if you focus time on it. And that's where my plan always starts, is looking at that based on no matter which state you're in, there's some type of performance level descriptors where you can look at those and determine where that highly tested content is going to come from. Now, I want to make sure that you understand that it's not all about the test, but we have to make sure that we get the kids ready for the test. It is not about the test. It is about making sure that our kids have futures. When they have math and they understand math, the world opens up for them. I mean, we have kids, some of our kids that can't even count back change, And so it is more than about a test. And so we have to make sure that we're giving them the best mathematics that we can give them, but we're also preparing them for the test because, of course, that's what everyone looks at for accountability purposes. So for accountability purposes, I always look at that high impact content, the division, the fractions, because those are the things that our kids struggle with. And those are the things that support them in the long run in each grade level. So looking at that, fractions, division, how can you make connections among those things? What is your response to that look like? Do you take the data? If you have an assessment that you give them, do you take it and look at the item analysis on it to figure out what that missing conception was? What was the misconception? Group the questions that are similar, grouping those questions together and figuring out, well, what are the strengths from the questions? And then what are those weaknesses? How do you use the strengths to work on and increase those weaknesses to get them to where they are mastering those? What does your plan look like? Then do you put those little snippets into bell ringers? Do you do this, work on them in small group? Do you have intervention time? What does it look like? But you don't want to keep giving them the thing that they know how to do. We want to give them in small group the stuff, those scaffolding pieces. That's what we should be focusing on in our small group, in our intervention time. And of course, there's no way that you're going to be able to do this all on your own in your classroom. So you want to make sure that you are talking to your team, talking to your reading teacher, the music teacher. How much math and music? How much math is in music? I mean, come on. And so pulling everybody, because my kids in my classroom are not just mine. They belong to everybody. And so when you have a team effort, and the team effort is the campus working to increase the comprehension for students, increase all of those areas that they need. If you're working on that, if that's part of the plan, then things will change. But it takes an intentional plan to get you there. And so that's what I help to do, is figuring out where those details are. What are those things that maybe I'm missing that I can tweak just a little bit, and I get some high impact results from. So that's where I live.
I love it. I love it. I love your superpower. I love it. I was trying to take some notes down while you were here, but guys, think about, what does your plan look like, and how do you include other content and other stakeholders in as a part of as a part of your plan. So we were talking earlier, you don't have to be burnt out. Toni, I appreciate how you really talked about like targeting the misconceptions, adding to your, like, really being intentional. You really showed us some ways, and we can't really go into everything now, but I need you all to catch this replay. What stood out for you all? I just put a couple things that stood out for me in the chat. What stood out for you? What stood out for you? And what questions do you still have? Do you understand what misconceptions are, how to find misconceptions? These are all things that Toni was sharing today, and I really want you all to support her. I have her message here again, because she does help those educators that use data to create those intentional plans. That's all we've been talking about today, because that is the answer to creating winning classrooms and empowering you to not only, go off of a curriculum and off of old ways and mindsets of thinking, but understand the why behind the what, understand that you have what it takes to do this, but there's also resources out there to help you do it even better and more intentionally and fast track you. And your mission, talk to us a little bit about your mission.
This is our mission. We build communities of problem solvers instead of problem doers. And I'm glad you said this, because I was going to come back to this, because I think that when we are talking about kids that are problem solvers, they are kids who are not just looking for a single answer. They have a way of thinking and being a person that looks for multiple ways of coming to a solution, and knowing that if my way looks different from Johnny's, then that's okay. And when we're talking about being a problem solver, that's not looking at keywords. That's helping them to visualize and to understand what the problem is telling by understanding the why behind all the things. And that comes in kind of with, a lot with reading, problem solving and reading are hand in hand to me, because if they're able to comprehend and understand why they're doing things, then, math becomes easier. And so even when, and this is a whole nother thing, but I'm just going off into it. Let me stop. Because I think that with reading and math teachers, they can work hand in hand with the with problem solving, understanding, and then with comprehension on the reading end, which is why Robin and I work so well together, because we are right there, aren't we, Robin? Thinking about how we can together get as many kids as we can, because we are thinking about the same thing. Math, reading, science, all of it. It's all connected.
It's all connected.
All of it's connected. And if we keep teaching our kids to stand alone, we're going, okay, I'm going to teach reading and I'm going to teach this trick. I'm going to teach math and I'm going to teach this trick. If I'm going to teach science, I'm going to teach this trick. It's all connected. And we have to look for those instances where we can connect them for students, so that they know that this is a journey. Okay, so you brought that up. I saw that. You saw it's a journey. Math is a journey. It's a journey. All of it is a journey.
Yes, honey. Oh my gosh, I was about to take that down real quick. I didn't mean to put it up, but I'm glad I did. It was supposed to happen.
Yeah, it was
a journey. And I was going to say, I love how you said it's the connections. I had a guest on here before. She used to teach back in the day. But she's also my sister, and she's a producer, filmmaker. And by the way, quick little plug, check out the trailer. I'll put it in the chat. It's coming out. But she's like so dope. But she always says, and I know people also say this, the win is in the work. Well, today I want to say with Toni, the win is in working the connections. Honey, The
That's
win
right.
is in working the connection. So what work we're doing does actually matter. It's working the connections, cross-curricular connections. This is why Toni and I work together so well, because we know we get it. We get that we're not about to see, guys, this is my platform, so I'm gonna just talk the way I want to talk. And I am a literacy coach and I can do it well. But there's also a whole language, and we think about cultural responsive teaching and all of that is connected. So you already know. Anyway, this is why Toni and I connect so well, because we get that it's all connected, from the data to the intentional plans to the content matter, context matters, to the implementation in all different ways, through music, through art, through music. And music, you talk about music being connected to math, but I also think about how science is connected to math, and how like you said it, you already said all that. How all of these things are connected. Even community building is connected to math. Like, do the math. There's math in every single thing. There's data in every single thing. And so I appreciate you saying that it's a journey. And what do you think about this quote? Because I always say this quote to everyone, and I love to know what your thoughts are.
Life, everything that we do is a journey. And, that's what I was just saying just a minute ago. It's like with the connections that we make, the relationships we make, all of that is a journey that gets us to our next stage in life and helps us to be successful here so we can get to the next stage. And that's what I feel about math. Math is a journey. We learned math a certain way as kids, and it's been a journey to get me here. And it's going to be a journey to part of the journey to help parents to understand why the new math is necessary for our kids. Because it's not new math. Again, it's not new math. It's just a deeper way of thinking about it so that our kids make connections and can apply those connections to other situations. That's all it is. And it's all a journey that we are part of so that our kids are as strong as they can be for our future. Our kids are going to be taking care of us. And we are preparing them as parents, as teachers, as people. We are preparing them to take care of us, to take care of our world. We're preparing them for jobs that don't even exist yet. And if we are only thinking about what we have right now and not preparing our kids for that, we're doing them a disservice. And so the journey is there. The journey is tough, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it for us and our students, our kids.
I appreciate that. I mean, honestly, the wealth of knowledge that you're gaining along the journey, and you guys always know I always put educate in here. We are all educating somebody, but that is a part of the journey. We're gaining so much, and our parents and our families, like together, we're all really gaining so much wealth to be successful. So when we find ourselves within a new place and a new task with a new math problem or a new problem period or something to solve, we actually can build off of our journey and the challenges. So I appreciate you, Toni. I appreciate you so much. And we're going to take a quick break because I want you all to see and hear. I'm going to put a song on here. You might not be able to hear it for you if you're on YouTube, because they like to cut me off if I put other people's music on here. But this break that you're going to have is just going to remind us who we have been interviewing today, and also have a call to action for you. So let's take a quick break, and we will see you back in about 30 seconds. All right. Okay, we are back. We are back. And I have a little song to play for you that has some purpose and some meaning. So I hope you can see on the stage here. We're talking about a superpower today for my guest. But let's start here first with the video. Those of you who cannot hear it, I'm going to put the link in the chat, and then you can go ahead and listen to that on your own time.
Like a superhero, I just want a superhero caper. I just tell the devil, never mind now. God gave me the light, told me shine now. I feel like a superhero. I just put my superhero caper.
So what you guys seen today is a quote on here. I need you all to put your superhero cape on. Brilliant educators, calling all brilliant educators who know that you have something inside of you, an ability to create something amazing for your students and be able to really see those winning classrooms and set the environment. And so on the stage, on the screen here, you see my guest. So let's read that. Go ahead. What's your superpower?
My superpower is my ability to create intentional plans. That's my superpower. By seeing details and making connections that others may have missed. And I know that is my superpower. It took me a while to come to that. Robin, I think that, we've known each other for a few years now. And through my time, speaking with you and stuff, that is what you've brought out in me. It's like my brilliance and helping me to see what my superpower is because of just who you are. So I appreciate you so much for having me on today to talk to everybody about the stuff that I love and the stuff, that you just have some things that you would do for free. This is one of them that I would do for free because I love it so much. And I know that it makes a huge impact in our world with our kids and with teachers.
I appreciate that. I do. And I want to share with you guys because first of all, I'm just humbled because being around and beautiful, amazing people who really want to walk in their superpower and their gifting. That's who I associate with, honestly. And it is my goal, as a brilliance coach. I am your brilliance coach. I don't even know if I put that up here. Hello, I'm your brilliance coach. I'm going to share with you guys at the end how you can also have some brilliance coaching to really bring out the best in you. It's not about trying to create a you that everybody needs to see. It's to create and impact the confidence in you to unleash what's already there in a way that is just brilliant, honey. So we want to make sure that you're unleashing your brilliance. I appreciate you even allowing me to do that and go on a journey with you, Toni. So I want to introduce to you guys as we close today, something that y'all really, really need. Okay. Y'all need this. You need this. You need some strong, beautiful Black women because we don't have a lot of representation in the education system. Let's just be real. In Pennsylvania, the data is, I just presented last week at a college, and one of the things that we found in our data was that we do not have enough representation of Black and brown educators, brilliant Black and brown educators, or those who want to stay because it doesn't feel like, the data is showing that. We also don't have enough representation of math and literacy and using data as the core, and it being about data and then brilliantly showing you how you can win in the end in math, in literacy, and break down some of the stuff. We don't have a lot of that, guys, and we are here for you. So we're just gonna let you know y'all are missing out if you do not know about the Data Divas. The Data Divas, like for right now, that's where we are. The Data Divas already women-owned businesses. Okay, we are the data. Oh, sorry, I forgot to ask. We are the Data Divas, and I want to just share that with you guys. If you are in a space where you're finding already where are we at? Almost at November in your year, and you are looking at your data and it looks the same. Your math data, your reading data, your intentional plans are not so intentional, honey. Listen. You've tried to target the misconceptions. You brought in all this support and help. You did not bring in the data divas, and I need you all to make sure that you know that we are here for you. So I bring Toni on today. Another reason is because we've just really been doing this work and supporting educators over the last couple of years, and we decided to really come together because we have like MTSS stuff that's like completely will blow your mind. I'm sorry. That's like, whoa, it's going to be, you know, we're walking in our superhero. I'm a superhero cape on. Hey, I'm gonna rain now. Hey, the devil is in the details of like, oh my gosh, all the drama that's happening in the schools. Their schools are failing. Our teachers are leaving. Many teachers don't even feel like they are prepared and equipped. And so we want to come to you with some Data Diva, you know, transformational work. Sorry, I'm talking too much. Go ahead. What do you think about this whole Data Divas that we have started in 2023 that is just amazing? Go ahead.
Oh, you know, I think that you're just amazing anyway. But I think that it's amazing that we're coming together and we bring the package because we are math and we are reading, and we know how to work within both of them to help teachers to make connections, because those connections go right along and flow right along to the kids. And we help to bring the success. And that's what I'm so excited about. When I met Robin, that I realized, I'm like, hey, she is me in reading. And so that was the thing. I was like, oh, I found my sister right here. And so so we are the Data Divas. And when you need someone to come in to help you to get that plan together, to create that winning environment, not only for your classroom, but for your campuses with leadership and your instructional coaches, look us up, please. And we'll come out and we will help you with that, because that's what we love to do.
Yes, it is. So I'm just gonna put that on here, guys. We're gonna share some things in the chat for you, so you can just to leave if you're interested, just leave your name and email, and we will get back to you on how we can support. We are just really excited about some of the spaces that we're working towards for 2024. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. And just to know that we're serving you all. And sometimes it's like, you know, there's education consultants out here and they can do this, that, and do that, you know, but we have a full package for you, just like Toni said, that will help you move your data. Like, honestly, we're not even playing. We guarantee that. We do, because we've just been in the game so long, and we have some things like we help get those misconceptions. Because I talked about that earlier. Some people don't understand how to get that. We can help you. And just the whole thing, you have so much on your plate already. And so I love Toni's message that she helps math educators. I help educators use data to create winning classrooms in literacy and go from burnout to brilliance. And she does it in math. And I just love the fact that those of you who are listening right now, the comments that you're putting in the chat, that you're excited about this. Thank you so much. We know that you're going to be successful, and your students, your campuses, your districts, everyone will be successful. 2024 you will end strong. We will help you get that superhero cape up. Let's go. Let's be brilliant. We are excited about this. So Toni, I just want to stop right there. I want to say thank you so much for being on the platform. I know there's more times you're going to be on. We're going to talk about some really intentional things when it comes to data, math, literacy, cross content collaborations. Guys, it's okay. You can make it. So we want to take that stress off of you today and remind you and empower you to have those data-driven insights. Do you have any closing words or anything else that you would like to share? Any encouragement as we thank you for being here today? Any closing encouragement from you?
My encouragement is to just keep going, because I know that it gets hard when, like I say, that you feel like you are drowning in all the things. Even if you don't want support from me or support from Robin, sit down and create a plan, something that you can go back and tweak, and something that will allow you to also take care of yourself, because part of my plan is also to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself and you're not getting burned out. And if you feel like you do, look for support. Look for support on your campus. Look for support outside of your campus if you don't have that. But look for support. We need you. Your kids need you. And I just wanted to say that because I feel like that is huge, because sometimes we just forget about the educator, the teacher, when we're focusing on wanting to make sure that the scores are high. But without you, none of that is possible. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself, and just know intentional plans plus intentional actions gives intentional results, and self-care is all part of that.
We thank you so much, Toni, for being here today. We are going to, guys, share this video. Share this video out. Remember, for all your math and reading needs, we are here for you. And also just know, not only start where they are at, your students, but start where you are at and keep going. We thank you, Toni. You have been brilliant. And guys, I'm going to show you some updates of what's coming up next and what you can look forward to from us, from Everybody Educate, from me, for your brilliance coach. And I love that you get on here every single month and you support me. Please, if you know an educator, a school district, I know everybody knows an educator. I know everybody knows a school district. And you see all these brilliant, amazing guests that I have on here. My goal is to put them out there. I don't have the answer for everybody for everything. We don't. But I bring enough people on here that you can share this and you can share some things that are coming up that they have that, you might say, oh, I know, the Hudson Bro Show, that they had Toni Hardy, and she has something coming up this summer. And she has something coming up she has a book coming out for parents to help them with the math. Like, Toni, Toni, this is my lead-in. Go ahead.
Yeah. I do have that. Okay, so for you people who are in the state of Texas, I am going to be at CAMPT, the Conference for the Advancement of Mathematics Teaching. This will be my 4th year speaking at CAMPT, and I love it. It's where you come to get math professional development for all grade levels. And I will be there in July speaking about data and how to use my streamlined plan. And you can come and see me in person, and I'll be sending out more information on that. But the thing that I am most excited about right now is that I have been working on a book, and it is all about fractions, because I don't know what it is about my brain, but the things that I know that people struggle the most on, teachers struggle the most on to teach, kids struggle the most when, I go straight to that and I figure out, okay, what's the problem? And so that's what the book is about. It's really helping parents, teachers really look at how we learned math as children, fractions really as children, then compared to how students are expected to master it right now. And so it does a little bit of a comparison, and it gives the why behind things, because I'm all about the MathWhys, the whys behind all of it. And so it's a book that I'm really enjoying. The whole writing piece of it it has illustrations, pictures, all of the things, because it's all about making sure that we are all stronger together. And so I'm so excited about that, and that will be coming up soon. And so I'll keep you informed on that.
Thank you so much, guys. Say thank you to my guest. Give some love in the chat for her. Make sure, how can we reach you? I believe I do have it on here. I'll put it in the chat for you guys, but you can just shout out really quickly how we can reach you one more time.
You can reach me at toni.math-whys.com. That is my email address. But you can also just go to my webpage, and there's information there on how to contact me. www.math-whys.com, and Whys is WHYS.com. And I'm on all social media outlets as MathWhys, and so you can find me there. So come on out and join me and follow me, and I give tips to educators and instructional coaches. So follow me.
Yes, follow her, ladies and gentlemen, leaders, teachers, follow, parents, math lovers, math not so much lovers.
Come on, everybody's going. You know what? I used to say, get pulling it over to the dark side. Come on over here. We're going to love it together. You just missing some connections. That's all. You just missing some connections. I'm going to help you get.
I love it. So guys, I put that there on the screen. I'm also just going to share with you what it looks like. When you go into her site, you will be able to see a little bit about her journey, what you can do. So make sure you support my sis in this work. She is phenomenal. She's an award-winning educator, expert, math expert, curriculum writer, and all the amazing things we talked about earlier. So thank you. Say bye to the people.
Bye, people. I'll see you next time.
Yes.
Thank you, Robin.
Bye. Thank you so much. Listen, guys, I want you all to know that I'm so excited every time I get on here. My goal is to serve educators everywhere. Monday, 7:30 p.m. Don't forget, we're creating winning classrooms, winning lives. We're hosting Brilliance. We are not being burnt out. We're working on not being burnt. We're doing a lot of stuff, and we can do that. Because guess what? There's a lot of stuff to do. But the main thing I want you all to know is that you are brilliant, and I want you to find your brilliance in what you do. I can help you do that. We're hosting Brilliance, and it's Monday, starting our week the right way, equipping educators to inspire students every day, create those winning classrooms so every child can grow, and educators go from burnout to brilliance. Don't you know? Stress to success is what we're about. Win, win, win. All I do is win, win, win. All I do is win. Okay, ready? We're hosting Brilliance on a Monday, starting our week the right way. Starting our week the right way, equipping educators. Everybody educate to inspire. Students, they come out growing, winning every day. Educators go from burnout to brilliance, stress to success, nothing less. Let's get into it. Let's go. More information on it right here. We are the Data Divas. We have come together. We really want to make sure that we can support you in whatever way we can. So you see our emails there. Toni Hardy at intentionalchange.co, Robin at everybodyeducate.com. You can connect with either of us, and we will give you more information about how we aim to help equip the educators from pre-K to 8th grade with those skills and those systems to effectively use that data and analyze it, identify the areas for growth, and implement targeted instruction. We want to make sure that you feel like you can enhance your students' progress in record time. I know sometimes it seems like it's impossible, but it is not impossible. And we've got you. So do not worry. Hit us up, call us, let us know how we can support you. For our Brilliance coaching, for Everybody Educate, we just want to let you know that we are here for you because we believe that everybody is educating somebody somewhere. And in order to do it, they must do it in excellence and with equitable practices that will transform burnout to brilliance and help you to be successful as an educator. Whether, number one, you see here, you are a school-based educator and there needs to be development for your staff and your students alike together. That is one way we do it. Another way we do it is for non-traditional educators, really supporting them in their brilliance, making sure that student-friendly learning is happening, those student-centered approaches are happening. That's for people who are, they don't really send their kids to school all the time, or they can't go to school, or, homeschooling, micro schools. We support all of you the same way, but with your brilliance. And then also for speaking and hosting services, we definitely do that because your girl's always ready to host somebody's brilliance on a stage. Yes, yes, yes. and I'm here for it. So doing that, and then also speaking as a keynote, or even speaking to a group of amazing educators or leaders. And then finally, like Toni talked about earlier, teaching leadership, teacher leadership, and possibility coaching, basically helping people to hone their brilliance and get to that target, their capacity, their full capacity, so they're not feeling limited, and they really can see their dreams and their brilliance thrive in big, beautiful, bold ways, whether in the classroom or beyond. All right, guys. So thank you for tuning in. We shall talk to you later. Bye. See you next week for another episode of Hosting Brilliance on the Monday.